What if I told you there's a secret language your brain is using right now that explains, well, everything? From your weirdest dreams to why therapy actually works. Well, today, we're going to crack that code.
Okay, so you know the feeling, right? You have a totally normal but super high-pressure day. And then that night, your brain just serves up this bizarre, cinematic masterpiece of pure nonsense. What is going on there?
And what about therapy? I mean, you've got all these different kinds. Talk therapy that's all about logic, then there's emotion-focused therapy, and even stuff like EMDR with the eye movements. They seem like they're from different planets, but somehow they can all work. How is that even possible?
Well, what if there was one single concept that connects all of it, both the bizarre dreams and the different kinds of therapy, like a master key that unlocks the mind's entire operating system?
So that master key, it has a name. It's called residual strain. And this idea, this one concept, is going to be our guide for the rest of this journey into the mind's hidden wiring.
So, what is this stuff? Residual strain? Well, to put it simply, it's the mental and emotional gunk left over after, well, anything. It's that unresolved energy, those thoughts you didn't finish, the feelings you kind of pushed down.
Yeah, the best way to picture it is like pressure building up in a pipe. After any event, big or small, this mental pressure builds. And it can't just vanish, right? It has to go somewhere. And where it goes, the direction it flows, that changes everything. Absolutely everything. Okay, so how does the brain deal with all this pressure? Well, it turns out it's bilingual. It has two completely different languages it can speak. And the one it chooses, that depends entirely on what that residual strain is doing at any given moment. So let's look at these two languages. On one hand, when the strain is really high, but it's starting to come down, the brain speaks in symbols. This is all about emotions, images, metaphors. Think dreams, art, that gut feeling you get. But when the strain is manageable and maybe even increasing a bit, the brain switches over to signs. This is your logical brain stepping in. It's all about language, numbers, making plans, trying to get a handle on things. And here is the absolute key difference, you guys. Symbols, all that weird dream imagery, they're built for pressure. They can handle a ton of emotional strain. But signs, our logical, rule-based thinking, nope. They're powerful for sure, but they're also kind of fragile. You push them too hard, pile on too much strain, and that whole system just collapses. And that idea of collapse, it brings us right back to therapy. Because, and this is the really cool part, it turns out that all those different therapies aren't just a random grab bag of techniques. No, they are highly specific tools, and every single one is designed to manage this thing we're calling residual strain. Let's just look at three of them. Take EFT, or emotion-focused therapy. Its first move, lower the pressure. It reduces your arousal to make you feel safe. Then you've got something like EMDR. It does the opposite. It dives right into a high-strain memory, but in a very controlled way, to help your brain refile it properly. And then there's good old CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It works on the other side of things, where the strain is already pretty low. It uses logic and language, the world of signs, to help you rewrite the stories and beliefs you have. See? Three totally different approaches, but they're all aiming at the same target, managing that strain. But here's the thing. You don't actually need to pay a therapist for your brain to start managing all this strain, because it has its own built-in, fully automated system that kicks in every single night. And yeah, you guessed it, we call it dreaming. Think of your sleeping brain as a nightly sorting facility. All that leftover strain from the day gets divided into two streams. First, you have the dreaming stream. This is for the high-pressure, emotionally messy stuff. Your brain just lets it all out in these wild, symbolic stories. It's basically your brain giving itself therapy. Then there's the consolidation stream. This is for the low-pressure, orderly information. It gets quietly filed away into long-term memory. No drama, no fuss. So the bottom line here is that your dreams are not just random garbage. They are a deeply functional therapeutic process. I mean, think about it. They let you reduce all that raw emotional pressure by reliving feelings in a totally safe space where nothing can actually hurt you. And it all happens in the language of symbols because your logical brain, your prefrontal cortex, is mostly offline for the night. It's brilliant, really. All right, so we've seen how strain works in therapy and how it works in our dreams. Now let's put it all together.
We're going to look at a kind of master map of the mind, showing the two fundamental directions this pressure can flow. This is it. This is the whole system. Let's follow path 1. When you're decreasing strain, say after a big emotional event, your brain moves from that raw feeling through the world of symbols, like in a dream, and finally it lands in silent, stable memory. Simple enough. Now look at path 2. This is when strain is increasing. You start out calm, so you use your logical brain, signs, rules, plans, but if that pressure keeps building and building, boom, the logical system collapses and you're thrown right back into the world of raw emotion and symbols.
And I just want to be clear, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is a functional map of how your mind works. It shows you that fork in the road your brain is choosing moment by moment. Should I feel right now? Should I think? Or should I dream about this later? It's the hidden logic running the show. So why does any of this matter? What's the big takeaway? Well, getting a handle on this system isn't just some fun mental puzzle. It gives you a completely new way to see yourself. It helps you understand your dreams, sure, but also why you get overwhelmed and why sometimes you just have to feel your way through something before you can even begin to think about it. So I'll leave you with this question. Think about your own brain right now, in this very moment. How is it managing its strain? Is it operating in that logical world of signs, calmly making a plan, building a rule? Or is it maybe a little closer to the world of symbols, quietly writing a poem that you just haven't read yet?